Sportsmanship, leadership, inspire, determination, excitement. Welcome to the Slide Podcast. Your hosts, Jen and Aaron, are on deck and ready to introduce the current stars of Little League Baseball. So grab your favorite sports drink, fasten your chin strap, and get ready to go inside the chalk lines of our Little League fields. Here are your hosts, Coach Jen and Coach Aaron.
All right. I was going to do it differently this time. I was feeling Matthew McConaughey. So welcome to the Slide Podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Pridmore, Coach Aaron, and I'm joined by my co-host, Coach Jen.
How's everybody doing?
You're not in the Matthew McConaughey mood today.
What would he have said?
Well, he says, all right.
All right.
There you go. We've got an exciting guest joining today. On top of that, we have a special guest host with us. If you heard 2 episodes ago, Mr. Parker McCorey, who was our Umpire Appreciation Contest winner, he is now joining us as a guest host. How are you doing, Parker?
Good. How are you?
Good. We gave you some homework and told you to get questions and stuff together for our guest today. Did you spend some time on that?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait. I haven't told anyone yet who's going to be on the show, so we're going to keep them a little bit more in suspense. You know what, Jen? They'll see it in the title of the episode. Oh, well, I'm still going to do it. Anyway, hey, Parker, so you've been on our show before. Tell us, what did people say about listening to you on our show?
They were saying a bunch of I read your podcast. It was so cool.
Did anybody ask you for autographs yet?
No, not yet.
No. I heard your coach listened to it. What did he say to you?
He said he liked it, and he said it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think he actually reached out to me as well and said how proud of you he was. So it was pretty awesome.
So when we were there, we gave out stickers to all the guys on the team for those that are listening. And I want to ask Parker, did anybody put them on their helmets or did any of them pop up on the back of anybody's car?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah? On their helmets? Awesome.
Yeah.
Some kids in our league, I handed out the same stickers a while back, and all of a sudden I started seeing them show up on the back of bat helmets. So kind of cool. So Parker, you're our first celebrity guest host. So I'm going to run through a few things, some exciting news that we were a part of this past week. Lace Up Athletics, which is the exercise weight that can be used for multiple baseball purposes, from a batting, fielding, catching product that we talked about a few episodes ago, and we had Rich Coletta on, who actually helps endorse the company. This past week, we got to premiere their first real official video that included Carlos Pena, and it walked through how to use the Lace Up Athletics weight, and it was really cool. So we actually got to be a part of a first for a big release for a product. I have spoke with Jay, the owner of the company. We have some really, really exciting news that we're going to probably release over the next few weeks about a future episode. So stay tuned for that. So now I guess Jen and Parker will talk about who our guest is. Parker, do you want to say it? Who our guest is today?
The owner of the Savannah Bananas.
That's right. The Savannah Bananas. Woo! I'm telling you, when we started putting together guest ideas and stuff, this was like my big go-get. I'm super excited about what they are doing in Savannah and just the excitement. But Parker, you're on this show with the Bananas. Do you know who they are?
Yes, I've seen them all over YouTube and all that.
Yeah, I heard you were a big fan. So what do you like about the Savannah Bananas?
They're a lot more different than actual baseball. They have more fun. They do a bunch of skits and they're really funny.
Yeah, they are. Have you seen the one where the pitcher walks out on the field with stilts and pitches?
Yeah,
that one was crazy. Jen, which one has been your favorite?
There's a view from behind the umpire and just to see the batter in the batter's box. I'll tell you a little backstory. So when Aaron first mentioned the Savannah Bananas, I was like, no, I've never heard of them before. So of course I go on Instagram, and I think Aaron maybe sent me a couple of their TikToks or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. So I started sending out this TikTok to a couple of my friends. Nobody in my immediate friend circle had ever seen them before. And they're just dying laughing. It's like, how can we go see these people? And you start looking for tickets and it's like, well, you can't. They're all sold out for years to come. But I've really enjoyed keeping up with them on Instagram and stuff. So I like the view from behind home plate where they'll just stop mid-pitch and do this little dance.
Oh, yeah. That's, I think,
turn around a little bit. And
yeah, they
then
have a name for that
throw
one.
a strike.
Yep.
Do they?
Oh, yeah. I'll have to ask Emily when she gets on, but I want to say it's like the 3-2-2. It's in the third inning, second batter, second pitch. There's a cadence to it.
Gotcha. And even the umpire gets into it.
Oh, yeah.
He'll do a little jig once in a while.
Yeah, he has a whole role in it as well.
Yeah.
I've seen him punch out a couple batters from striking them out and jump on their backs and ride them to the dugout. So it's pretty crazy. So, hey, I'm going to get Emily on the line. We'll be right back with you shortly. So we are now joined with Emily Cole, owner of the Savannah Bananas. Emily, how are you doing?
I am good. Fired up to be with you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I connected with Emily and I just told her we had a guest host on the show today. So our guest host is Parker McCorey. He was on our show 2 episodes ago and we interviewed him because he won our Umpire Appreciation contest. And, so he was on our show. And then I found out in conversation with his parents that he was a huge Savannah Bananas fan. So what other way to celebrate this show with having a special guest host with us?
Absolutely. I love it.
I've read so much about the Savannah Bananas. All of us have seen all of these videos. How did it start?
Oh, gosh. It really didn't start with the Bananas. It started years prior with other teams that we've run. And so that is one of the funny things, when people always say overnight success, the 15 years that you put in at other teams prior. But I worked in minor league baseball for a number of years, and my husband, Jessie, was an athlete and was going to play pro, but then tore his shoulder and so was not able to play. And so it really all started in athletics in some regard.
You spent a lot of time with other baseball organizations before the Bananas came into the picture, right?
Yes, absolutely. So I actually started at Rifkin Baseball and worked my way up through their teams and really just fell in love with the game and being at the ballpark. That's really where it started for me.
Now, where are you originally from?
Upstate New York.
Wow. We've had, I think, like 3 or 4 guests now on the show from New York. New York's a big baseball
state.
state.
Going to stay.
Yeah.
And you and everybody else is from upstate New York. What is it? A baseball-loving part of town.
I guess they just grow them up there.
That's right. So then I know you met your husband, right? This crazy dude that walks around in a yellow tuxedo, Jessie, right?
Yes, he does. So while I was at Rifkin, Jessie was a young general manager at the time and was trying to learn everything that he could about the industry and just learn from some of the greats. So he actually hosted his own conference as like a 24-year-old general manager, which is pretty unheard of. But my boss from Rifkin Baseball went to the conference and heard him speak. And she walked outside and called me and said, "Hey, I met the guy you're going to marry."
Wow.
So that was kind of a cool first connection. But I was 24. I was, working my way up through their company and was nowhere near interested in settling down or finding a husband. That was not on my radar.
Yeah, especially from just like a random call that I just met your future husband, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're like, what?
I have to ask, was he wearing the yellow tuxedo when he was doing that conference?
At that point in his life, he was wearing a black tuxedo.
Okay. He was still in a tux, though.
Yes, he was still like the ringmaster. That was still kind of his thing at the ballpark. And then over time, it grew into the yellow tuxedo. But yeah, our relationship just started professionally at first. I mean, I knew he was kind of a genius in the field. And so we did want to bounce ideas off each other. So we really did start a professional relationship for a few years. And then years later, it grew into obviously other things.
Of course, yeah. Was he in Gastonia, North Carolina at the time?
Yes, exactly. So he was in North Carolina and I was working for Rifkin, up and down the Eastern Coast. And, weird timing of meeting professionally. And then back then, we just emailed. That's really like how we stayed in touch. That was in 2010 and stayed in touch and then kind of rekindled at a baseball conference a few years later and just shared the same passion for fan experience and what we wanted to create at a ballpark versus what we had always seen at the ballpark. And decided that we really needed to do something together. And so at that time, I picked up and moved to North Carolina.
Wow. That's a pretty awesome baseball story right there. I mean, you guys have turned a basic working relationship or networking event into so much more. So, and just one little sidebar on Jessie. So he attended the University of Wofford, didn't he? or Wofford University. Yeah.
Oh,
So
nice.
we're actually from Spartanburg, South Carolina. So Wofford's just right down the street from us.
Yeah. Wow. And it's grown so much. We love going back there and visiting. It was pretty small when he went, and that whole community has just grown so much. So we love Spartanburg.
Yeah.
The next time you're here, let me know. My office is on Main Street. I'm probably 2 miles from Wofford.
Oh, very cool.
Let me know. I'd love to meet you in person. That would be so cool.
Absolutely.
And Jen, just so you know, so Jessie was actually a general manager at the Gastonia Grizzlies. I didn't even know they had a baseball team.
I actually did.
Oh, did you? Okay, so I didn't know. So you guys, you met, and so which came first, the bananas or marriage?
So we got married first. He proposed to me. It's all connected. The whole story is connected. So he proposed to me at the final game of the season in 2014 in Gastonia. He planned an epic proposal. And for whomever in a relationship plans the proposal, I admire you so much, because I just can't imagine the nerve, that goes into it. But he planned this whole thing. He flew our families in. He had a surprise fireworks show, which at the time I was doing all of our fireworks permitting. I didn't even know he could figure out how to do that paperwork. He had just gone to this great length. He had carved out a baseball and had the ring inside. So, he just worked really hard on the whole event. And so that next week I said, I need to do something for you. And so I surprised him with a trip to Savannah, Georgia. So we came to Savannah, Georgia, and went to the ballpark because we are ballpark junkies. And we're really disappointed because the ballpark was empty. And it just really crushed us because we're sitting in this majestic stadium with nobody there. And we go on and we figure out there's this falling out between the city and the current team, and they're going to leave. So unfortunately, the team did. They left. But we had said if this market ever becomes available, we want to come here. So lo and behold, the next year, we are moving into that stadium and launching an expansion franchise and basically building a team of our dreams. So it was all a whirlwind, but it all worked out.
So Grayson Stadium, where you guys are at now, I read some history on that stadium, and there's been some huge names that's played on that field, right?
Yes. Everybody's played there. Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Hank Aaron. Some of the greats. Plus, FDR gave a presidential speech there, and the Olympic torch went through there. Just so much history happened at this stadium. And so to hear that prior teams, minor league baseball had been there for 90 years and continuously failed. And to hear that the teams were kind of blaming it on the stadium was just hard for us. The history is just, I think, part of what makes it so special. And so we said, if we come in here, we're going to honor all that. And so we did. We worked with the local newspaper, and we tried to pull up, photos, and we made banners and kind of honored all the greats who had been through there. And I think part of the story, you could feel the history oozing from the walls. Yeah. Our president says when he's giving tours, so cool. And it's so true.
Just imagine being in the locker room where Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and Mickey Mantle, you got to be able to take something for the sweat that's in those floors, I would have to think.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
It's a baseball thing, maybe. Parker, you're on here. We got to let you talk. So what's your first question for Emily?
How did you come up with the theme nights and fun stuff that the team does, and why does everybody think it has been so popular?
We get together as a staff or as different departments, and we host things called Idea Paloozas. And basically what our Idea Paloozas are big brainstorming sessions where people can come in and say whatever they want with whatever ideas they have and not be embarrassed or not feel like they're going to be ridiculed. We actually encourage people to say the craziest things that are on their minds, because even if it does sound crazy at first, somebody else in the room often interprets it differently and puts a spin on it, and we usually end up with something pretty cool. So we have those intentional meetings where they are all about being creative and being different, and that's often where some of our craziest ideas are born.
Yeah, I can imagine some of the stuff that comes out of there, because what you guys put on the field is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
What's your favorite event that you guys put on the field, Emily?
We do so many things now that break down the barriers between the players and the fans, especially the kids. And that's just what means the most to me. We have 3 little kids. I see how they light up when the players come by and interact with them. And I think that's one of the things that makes professional sports so unrelatable now, is these athletes are larger than life, which is a cool thing, but they're so far out of reach that sometimes it's hard to connect with them.
That's right.
And so what we really try to do is break down that barrier and make sure that our players are so engaged and they are sitting next to fans. They are signing autographs. They actually ask little kids for their autographs. I love that about them because they are so engaged with these people and they create fans for life. And so anything where our players are involved, our players hand out roses to little girls in the crowd. It's called the Sweethearts of the Game. That's one of my favorite things because we hear stories months later from parents about how this little girl has been sleeping with the flower, for months. And then the parents are like trying to take it away from her. And she's like, no, this is the best thing ever. So any stories like that, all of those promotions where we can really connect with kids on a deeper level, those are special to me.
Honestly, in the vein of our show, that just fits perfectly because that's why we created this show, was to truly connect to the youth players out there. And it's awesome because, like you said, Major League Baseball, we see them on TV, we hear about all this money that they make, and I don't think any of us can fathom what that's like, but you never really have that connection with the player. And I'm 44 and I grew up idolizing Jose Canseco. So he was that larger than life kind of guy. And I think if I would have ever gotten a chance to meet him, I wouldn't have been able to speak. I love what you guys do. And Jen and I got the opportunity to actually see the collegiate team play, I think it was last month, against the Four City Owls. It was my son's first really experience like at the baseball and like chasing down autographs and stuff. But like you said, the players were coming to us. And
I love that.
One had a cast on his arm. I can't remember who that was, but he had a cast on his arm and he asked my son to sign his cast.
Oh, maybe Nick Klarna. Maybe?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he had a cast last month.
My son didn't know what to do. He had never signed an autograph for anyone. But
yeah.
And that was, I think, the first time I've ever on purpose taken a selfie is because they asked if we wanted a picture. And I'm like, sure, let's do it.
Very cool. Thanks for sharing.
No problem. Jen, what questions you got?
Yeah, so I can only imagine with like the social media avenues and everything that you guys put out, like the TikToks and the reels and stuff of the dances, that you probably have a lot of people that want to play for you guys. Tell me a little bit about what the process looks like. Like, how do you recruit players? Do they just all come to you and beg you to be on their team? Like, how does that look like?
Yeah, so a few years ago, we were the ones out doing the begging. We had just named our team after a fruit, which is very unconventional, and people had not bought in yet. And it was very difficult. We're teaching these guys how to dance at their first practice, and they're looking at us like we're crazy.
There was a lot of critics for you guys.
Absolutely. People were against it. Oh my gosh, yeah. So it was really tough in the beginning, and we'll always remember that because it was so hard and so personal, some of the attacks that we had. But from there, we have grown, fortunately. And so we are at a point now where, we do receive over 1,000 guys who are trying to come out for the team. And I'll say what we recruit for is definitely athleticism, but just the same intensity that we're looking for that, we are also looking for character, because these guys are going to be in front of cameras and in front of fans all the time. And we have to make sure that they are the right person. And so it's as much interviewing about that as it is getting stats from their coaches on how they can play. In fact, when they come out to tryouts, we set up different stations at the ballpark. Yes, some are on the field playing baseball, but there are TikTok stations and there are mock interview stations. And it's like, can you dance? Can you break it down if there's a camera in your face? Can you answer a question correctly if there's 5 cameras and a bunch of people asking you questions? So it's all of that stuff that we really judge to make sure that you are a banana, because being a banana is different than just being a baseball player on a different team. So it's definitely a different level.
They must have so much confidence, those guys. Like, to be able to get out there and do like the hip rolls and all the stuff that they do, it's like, dang, he's really got some self-confidence.
They know there's a good chance that they're going to go viral. So they're pretty big fans of that idea.
So what's and I apologize, I should have looked this one up, but the 3-2-2, is it 3-2-2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's the third inning, the second batter, and the second pitch, right?
You got it. Very good.
There we go. Honestly, I think that's one of my favorites, because the great part about that TikTok video is because he comes right out of that dance into a strike.
A pitch.
Like there is no lob, there's no fancy, like he drills that pitch in. And then I heard an interview with Dalton one of the players on your team, and he got asked, is the goal to try to hit that ball? Because he plays, and we'll talk about this in a second, the party animals. And he was like, yeah, we don't want to see them do that. Like, hit the first pitch.
Right.
Don't give them that opportunity.
It's, again, cool breaking down those barriers. So often in sports, the entertainment is at the halftime show or between innings. And so we are, again, trying to break down those walls and say, well, why can't it be entertaining during the play?
Right.
And so that's exactly what the 3-2-2 is it's in the middle of play. We are doing things that will make people laugh and make people smile. And so we're just always testing the limits on things like that. And the 3-2-2 has been one of the more popular things that have gone viral.
Awesome. Hey, Parker, what else you got, buddy?
What is your all-time favorite skit that you guys pulled off?
Oh, gosh. Favorite skit. Let me tell you one that didn't work first. That's probably a more fun story.
There you go.
We have the infamous horse race at the ballpark where we thought it would be funny to put kids in horse costumes and have them gallop around the field. So we get the horse heads on everybody and they are setting off for the races and they start going. But these horse heads are so big and so real that they can't hear anything. And they also can't see anything. So we've got somebody going down the line towards right field. He thinks he's racing towards the finish line. He's going in the wrong direction. We've got somebody going to center. We've got somebody cutting across the pitcher's mound. There are basically horses just running wild all over the field. And then you have Jessie, my husband, who is the host, trying to yell to the kids off the mic, like, oh, over here, over here. But they also can't hear him. So we had to release the dogs, basically. We had to release the staff to run around and try to round up these horses and get them off the field. But the kids were so committed to this race that they didn't pick their heads up. They just kept galloping in whatever direction they were going. And that turned out to be pretty funny. So, we have a lot of successful ones, but to us, ones that we can sit around and laugh about afterwards and learn something from are the ones that really stick out in our minds.
Oh, that sounds great. Is that on YouTube?
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, well, I'm going to have to go look that one up because that sounds pretty funny.
Me too. Yeah.
I hear all this stuff about the bananas, but you guys have another team, right? The party animals?
Yes, our arch nemesis.
Right. How did that come about and what plays out each year?
Currently, we are in an official league, and the Bananas are in that league. But when we were inventing this game, Banana Ball, we needed the Bananas to be able to play somebody. And because we are basically inventing this new sport, it's a spin-off of baseball, but Banana Ball truly has its own rules. And so we really had to train with a lot of different athletes and try out the different rules and test it. So we created our own second team. So basically an opponent for the Bananas. And so that is the Savannah Party Animals. And they are basically the bad boys in town. They are the ones that are constantly trying to break the rules. They are always towing the line. They are a lot of fun, but they're the bad boys. So they've got cutoff jerseys that are black and bright pink.
Mm-hmm.
And they're fun. They do a lot of wild things. They come up to plate with a bat on fire. They come up to plate with a cigar in their mouth. They jump the outfield wall and race in like they're charging the team. So they're just really the crazy fun guys. And they have actually grown in popularity as well. So the Bananas are usually going to be the fan favorite, but the Party Animals have created their own little following.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't see a Party Animal jersey available, but I'll be ready for when that one becomes available.
Yeah.
I love it.
They're a fun brand.
So what was your favorite walk up to an at bat that you saw somebody do?
That's a good one. That's something that we come up with in our Idea Paloozas. We're always trying to brainstorm on some new fun ways for our players to come up to bat. And there have been a couple of them that I really like. Last year we did a golf caddy where we dressed somebody up like a golf caddy and he came up to bat with our hitter and he had a baseball bag full of bats. He had the rangefinder. He's looking out of the field trying to figure out which one he should use. He pulls a bat out. The guy shakes him off. He puts it back in. He pulls out another bat. The hitter nods, and that's the one he goes with. But we're trying to always come up with things that involve different skits or different sports. One that was funny this year is we had a hitter come up in a little Power Wheels truck, and we had a podium set up near the home plate, and he valeted his car. So he just rolled up next to the batter's box in this thing and jumps out, tosses the keys to somebody standing next to him, and he valets his car. Yeah, so that was pretty funny.
I love it. And so for all the parents that want to be able to take their kids to a baseball game, but they know, like my 7-year-old, there's really no way for me to make it through 9 innings in 90-degree weather. You guys have made it family friendly with Banana Ball, though, right? Because you guys put time limits on the game.
Yeah, that's one of the perks of Banana Ball. You know, when we were creating this new sport, essentially, we were saying, well, what are the friction points? And timing is definitely one of them. So for a few years now, we have taken pictures of our crowd and studied the fans. And we've said, you know, how long are they here? When do they leave? And everyone leaves at that 9 o'clock mark. That's just in our head. Hey, this is when I got to get home and start bedtime. You know, we're already late. And 9 o'clock seemed to be the cutoff time. So one of the rules that we instituted with Banana Ball is that there is a 2-hour time limit. So when we start the game, we actually say start the clock, and we will have a countdown from 2 hours. So it lets everybody know how much time is left in the game. But that's definitely been one of the fan favorites of the new rules, because people know what to expect. They know when it's going to end. And in today's attention span days, you know, that's really what people want, is they want faster, quicker. They want things to be over. So we pack in as much fun as possible in those 2 hours, and people love it.
I think that's great. And then when you walk, if the opposing defense doesn't like hustle, and I think so the person who walks, they get to run to first, but they can continue around the bases until every person on the defense has caught the ball, right? Like they have to touch the ball.
I think this might be my favorite rule. So we always joke, in an athletic game, why is there something called a walk?
Right.
That right there just screams that something's wrong.
Better. Right.
Yeah, and they do. They walk down to first base usually. So we have changed it to the sprint. So if you have 4 balls, the hitter sprints around as many bases as he can, while the defenders all have to touch the ball, kind of like hot potato. And so in the beginning, I'll say we had guys getting triples, sometimes inside the park home runs on these sprints if they were fast enough, because the defenders just weren't used to it and they didn't know what to do. Now they've practiced so much that they have figured out a routine where people are getting thrown out at second base because they're running as fast as they can, but the defenders have figured out how to all come together. You know, the outfielders rush in, everybody gets really close together, and they toss the ball back and forth. All 9 guys touch it, and then they make the play at second. So it's gotten to be a very exciting play, whereas in the past, or in regular baseball, a walk is something that you just stop paying attention to.
I mean, it's still a game. Like for any of the critics that say this in baseball, and because that's what a lot of the stuff that I had read was, people were arguing that it wasn't baseball and it was taken away from the sport.
Yeah.
You're still building strategy. Even with Banana Ball, there's still strategy that goes into it, because pretty sure the party animals don't walk out on the field ready to lose. And so, and I can speak from watching the collegiate team. There's some ballers. Like, it's not any question about if these guys are athletes or
they are
baseball players. They're the real deal. And most of them now, I noticed, are playing around once Banana Ball, you guys dismissed, it looks like most of them went back and are now playing in professional leagues throughout the country.
Yeah, a lot of them got picked up this year, which was really exciting.
Yeah. So, I mean, not only are you helping develop talent, like you're helping grow the sport as well. So awesome. Now, how many games have you guys sold out in a row now?
Oh my gosh. We really don't pay attention to things like that. I know it sounds crazy, but for us, it was exciting that first year when we sold all the games out. But for us, it is just about creating fans' first moments and just making everything be a memory for people. And so we really don't keep track of things like ongoing sellouts, or we have a finance team who focuses on it. But like my husband and I, we don't look at the revenue. We don't look at that side. We truly believe that if you focus on the fans, the business will take care of itself. And fortunately, it has.
I think anyone in the sport, any professional sport, should listen to that message. If the owners of the teams focused on the fan experience and putting the best experience out on the field, you're right. People are going to show up. People are going to spend money, and people are going to be knocking down the doors to come in and see. So that's awesome. Emily, I wanted to talk a little bit about, so you've put out some books as well, right?
We have, yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So Jessie wrote his first book in 2017. It was called Find Your Yellow Tux. And the message is all about standing out, believing in yourself, knowing that it's okay to be unique, because, again, he's in this yellow tuxedo. And the whole world, society just always tells us, keep your head down, fit in, don't stand out too crazy. And so we believe at the Bananas the exact opposite. Everybody has their own unique differences and we should celebrate those. So my children's book was kind of a spinoff of that, but for kids. And so I wrote a kid's book called Go Bananas. And it's about a little girl who was born without a left hand. And she feels out of place and doesn't feel like she's normal, but then comes to a Bananas game and realizes that differences are beautiful and that she can do amazing things in life. And so really, it was kind of just the kid version of what Jessie had written. Believe in yourself, have the confidence. It's okay to be different. We love different. The Bananas are different. And the world needs more of that. So those were our first few books. And then this year, we just came out with Fans First. So that is now kind of 5 or 6 years into this thing, just kind of a recollection of all the stories and things that we've learned through the years while building this brand.
That's
so
awesome.
That was a very exciting launch last month.
Yeah. And your entertainment, I mean, you have a Fans First entertainment company, right?
Yeah. So basically, Fans First Entertainment is the umbrella company. Like that is the big company and the Bananas are part of that. But yeah, everything that we focus on is fans first and entertaining those fans. And so that's what we always come back to. That's our mission. It's a very quick, easy thing to teach the hundreds of people who work for us on a game day. It's like, hey, is this decision fans first? Yes, it is. You know, if somebody drops their French fries, go get them another one. We don't charge them for that other one. That is just the right thing to do. And so by having a simple message like that, it's very easy for our players, our game day staff, anybody to walk in on day one and they know what we're about.
I mean, it's simple. Like, just keep it simple.
Yeah. As a business owner, it makes a lot of sense. It's the patient experience. So that's one thing that I try to pride myself in is giving them an experience, even though I'm a physical therapist, like I'm not in the entertainment industry, sort of.
Right.
But like, it's all about the experience. They can make me different than anywhere else because there's tons of places they could go, but why should they choose here? I have a question. So the baby banana, is that your baby?
He was the banana baby at one point, yes. But every game, it's a different baby. If you haven't seen it, we hold up a baby above home plate. At the beginning of the game, it's the ceremonial banana baby, and the whole team gets down on their knees, puts their fingers up like spirit fingers, and they sing the Lion King, Savannah. And it's this ceremonial moment for a baby. And the funniest thing now is that people will reach out to us like as soon as they find out that they're pregnant. And say, can you put me on the wait list for next summer? Because I'm going to have a baby in whatever month and we want to get on that list. So yeah, it's really funny. That has become such a popular thing. And the babies are, of course, just sitting there, you know, asleep or just totally not interested. But it's a fun photo op for their families.
That's awesome. Well, I vote Parker. Do you have a yellow tuxedo?
I do not.
You do not? All right. So we may need to talk to your parents about getting one, and we're going to see if we can pull off some banana stuff up here in South Carolina. So, Parker, maybe I volunteered you for that. I don't know yet. So, but Emily, we'll send you some pictures if we can do it, though.
Please do.
Awesome. So, I had a couple questions about Emily herself. So, I read that you are a super host on Airbnb. Now, I got to know what that means.
So we have a few rental properties that we've fixed up over the years, and we use the platform Airbnb to rent them out.
Right.
And Airbnb has a certain qualification list. And if you hit those things, then you become an Airbnb superhost. And so for 5 years running, very proud to be an Airbnb superhost.
That is awesome. And then I read your favorite movie was Top Gun.
Oh, yeah.
And so
absolutely.
What do you think about the sequel?
It was amazing.
Yeah?
I thought it was
you're always ready to be disappointed by a sequel, but they did it right. And I'm just so glad that they didn't ruin it. It was very exciting. I laughed. I cried. It was beautiful.
That's awesome.
I'm a Jurassic World fan.
Maybe. I'm more into airplanes than dinosaurs, but could be. I'll give it a try.
Parker, what was your favorite movie?
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World. Okay. That's a little bit on the different spectrum there, but I love those Jurassic World movies there too.
I've heard it's good.
I haven't seen the new one though. So awesome. Well, Emily, I wanted to thank you so much for your time.
Sure.
I got my last question. Actually, I got 2 questions left. For parents out there and players that are listening, do you have a message for youth baseball? And what would you say to that youth baseball player right now who's struggling to figure out if they like the game? Banana Ball changes that. What would you say to them?
It does, but really, at the end of the day, it's about having fun. We see it all the time where athletes come in and they are just beat up. The sport has beat them up. And I mean, if you're going to play at this level, you have probably played for 10, 15 years. And so you have committed a big portion of your life. Your parents have committed a big portion of their lives to driving you around and doing the camps. And so often it becomes so serious that they lose the reason that they signed up for it in the first place.
That's right.
And so we are all about just putting the fun back into the game. And if you're at a point where it's not fun anymore, I think you have to take a step back and say, how do I find the joy in this? Because when I first signed up for it and I was playing on the 6-year-old T-ball team, it was fun. And so that's just our message for the guys at our level and for any athlete who we come in contact with and all the kids who come to our camp and our Bananas Academy. It's just, how do you instill fun in the sport that they once loved? So that's definitely my message for all athletes.
That's awesome. That's perfect, because that's our message as well. And we encourage coaches to always be coachable, because we don't ever want a kid to stop playing because of a bad experience with a coach.
Yeah.
All of that stuff takes the fun out of the game as well. So I thoroughly appreciate what you guys have done. You made baseball something that's super exciting now. So I hope it continues. And I will say, we had a team in your league last year in Spartanburg, the Spartanburgers.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a spot available if you and Jessie are, want to expand. Jen and I would love it.
Our plate is so full.
No way.
Awesome. So for everybody listening, it sounds so incredible. I haven't got to catch a game yet. How do we get tickets?
Yeah, so if you go to justsavannahbananas.com, you can join something that's called our priority list. And that will give you early access and information for when tickets are becoming available and when we announce our cities this fall for where we're traveling in 2023 for the world tour. So getting on that priority list will get you all the information as soon as it's available.
Great. So the last question that I have, and Jen knows I'm going to ask this question. Emily, you're up to bat. What's your walkout song?
Oh.
That's a hard question, right?
I would have picked something from Top Gun, but we just talked about that, so I won't go there. I'll do something Spice Girls.
Oh, okay.
Wannabe from Spice Girls, just to throw it back to my youth days.
There you go.
That's
My
right.
wife would appreciate that. I have to listen to Spice Girls quite a bit here. So tell you what you want, what you really, really want. I hear it all.
There you go. See, I haven't listened to it in like 15 years, but I think I would bring it back.
Awesome. Parker, before we wrap it up, buddy, you have any more questions for Emily?
No, sir. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks, Parker.
Emily, thank you so much for your time. I know we've been back and forth and you are so busy, and thank you for carving just a little bit of time out of your day to talk to us. So
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to do it. I hope it was good.
it was great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the Slide Podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. In the meantime, stay connected with Coach Jen and Aaron on Instagram at The Slide Podcast Show, on Facebook at The Slide Podcast, and the Facebook private group, The SLIDE Podcast. Until next time.